I'm going to therapy right now for childhood, which I never did.
Oh, interesting.
And for me, it's like I don't look back at my childhood and feel like, anything really. Like I'm just trying to know myself more, and it's impossible to not have anything. And so I just want to be in touch with, myself and my history and everything like that.
All right, guys, we are here with stand-up comedian, prankster extraordinaire, Sal Vulcano. So excited to have you here, Sal.
Guys, I can't believe this is the first time I'm on this podcast.
I know.
You're a hard man to book. You're very popular.
Busy.
Yeah,
you got
true,
cruises.
Busy. Yeah, cruises.
But you're a sweetie. You're a sweetie in the community, in the comedy community. And that's
there's not
very
a lot
appreciated.
Of sweeties.
We don't get a lot of sweeties. Sweeties.
Okay, that's great. I love that title.
You have a warmth to you, which
Sure.
is nice and refreshing. You're not like, you don't seem jaded by the world.
No.
Is that true?
Well, I got my hang-ups and I'm an anxious person, and I have going, just like anybody else, I'm going through it, but I like being nice,
Yeah. Life is tough. Life is tough.
Who are other sweeties with me?
So other sweeties, I would say like Dan Soder's a sweetie.
Oh, just came from
so
Dan.
sweet. He's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love Dan.
I agree there.
Chrissy D's a sweetie.
Chrissy's sweet, yeah.
Yeah, he's super sweet.
Ashley Austin Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Sweetie. That's a female sweetie.
There's a lot of female sweeties. It's just rare to be a male sweetie, I feel. Mayron Kagani.
Oh, sure.
Such a sweetie.
Yes.
Oh, God, I love Mayron
I agree with
so
your
much.
list so far.
Yeah.
I was waiting to reject one, but...
Nah, there are a lot of sweeties
Yeah.
out there. Jay Okerson's a sweetie.
Yes.
He's a big
gentle.
softie. I know. You don't expect it from a guy with fingerless gloves. But
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's so funny. I used to wear fingerless gloves just because... I don't know why. I just wore them my whole life. Like...
Just for the fuck of it?
For the elements or just as like a style?
It's a cool look.
Well, I thought they were versatile. They kept
You got grip shit?
hands warm, but I still had my digits out for whatever reason.
I agree.
And I kind of like, I don't know, I feel too, if I put a full glove on,
Yeah.
I just feel like I keep having to taking them off for things. It just feels like I can't function at full capacity.
No, I
Fingerless
agree.
glove, you get the best of both worlds.
Yes,
It's a
you
great
do.
invention.
You do.
Yeah.
And it used to be like just for like hobo, like Halloween costumes.
Right. Which
when I was
is,
growing up.
yeah.
And I was known for wearing them, like, because I was the only one who wore them in my old neighborhood. And then when I met Jay, he had cornered the market on that.
Yeah, he did. He
And
really
so
did.
I didn't think anything of it. I just kept wearing it, and people were like, oh, you wear things because Jay. I'm like, no, he can't take that from me. I've been doing this for like a decade.
Yeah,
But
fingerless
I
gloves are
stopped.
great.
You really did?
I stood down. No, I wear them all the time in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your fingers don't get cold? The tips of your fingers?
Yeah, but I have multiple hacks for that. So I could pull the glove down like to here, and then it still hangs in there.
Yeah.
I just pull them right in there like a turtle.
Yeah.
I ball them up.
Yeah.
Or like, I got pockets.
Put them in your pockets.
I got pockets, yeah.
You got fancy pockets.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. But you have to have them because you have to use your phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I have the gloves that are supposed to work with the screens. They never work with the
that's
screens.
bullshit.
You know what I mean?
I need the tactile feel of it.
Yeah. I like feeling my fingertips.
Yeah. You ever try some mittens? You ever try mittens?
I do. Mittens are really cumbersome.
Yeah.
You can't walk a dog with mittens. You can't pick up the poop with mittens. But I do have the mittens that have the thing that go back, like the
I
top.
had those one time, yeah.
But then every time I would go to like pick up dog shit, it flops and then it gets in the dog shit and you're like, now I gotta wash these mittens, and you wash them, they shrink.
Yeah.
Mitten problems, man.
No, I got mitten problems. I spent too much on a pair of mittens.
How much?
My only pair. I was in Minnesota, and I went to this store called Martin Patrick 3.
Whoa.
Really cool, but you get caught up in the hype. Like this,
Yeah.
it's a lifestyle store, men's, and it has all different things from like, and they're taking you around, and it was like a beautiful pair of leather mittens.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like light, like tan brown, like just beautiful, supple leather.
Wow. Yeah.
I
got
learned later on the store was insanely overpriced, but so I got caught up in the hype. I was like, this is fun. A peak coat, I'll put these on. I could wear them to and from the car. I don't know. But they really are tough. I wear them once in a while and I get mocked for them. But I really think if you saw them, and I'll text you a picture later.
Yeah.
I think that you would get behind it.
Leather mittens sounds like a nice looking,
I felt very
mitten.
adult.
Wait,
Yeah.
but how can you reveal how much is too much for the mittens? How much did you lay down
About
for the mittens?
$50 for mittens.
So can we take guesses?
$250.
Too much. I'm thinking 700.
No.
Okay.
Right about there. I think some people do 250.
Okay, so it's not like you're not losing sleep. Well, you might be losing sleep. You
Yeah,
seem to
well,
lose
this was
sleep over a lot
while
of
back.
stuff.
Also,
Yeah.
I've had these for a long time. I gotta tell you, let's just say for argument's sake, I've had these things 8 years. I maybe wore them 6, 7 times.
Oh, you gotta wear them more.
So then,
Yeah.
when it's price per wear,
Yeah.
pretty expensive.
It's out there. But also with mittens, that's a whole nother thing. You gotta,
you gotta do activity that you can wear
yeah.
mittens
But also
in.
nobody knows what's going on in there.
Right. You
That's
could have
fun.
fucked up fingers.
It is kind of covert when they're
Yeah.
in the mittens.
Your fingers could be doing stuff
You
with
can do
each
all
other.
sorts of stuff.
I recently found out that like the plaid, like wool plaid shirts in the
Yes.
upstate New York, very expensive.
Uh-huh.
We were gonna get like a nice like plaid in upstate a couple months ago. That was during the ends of the winter, and we're like, it's like $300 for like a wool plaid shirt.
Where you going for this though? What brand are we talking about?
It was it was a mom and pop shop. All they had
Really?
was plaid
The
shirts.
balls.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, but they were really thick, really warm. Like
I got a bunch, and I really don't wear them. I don't know if you wear them oversized, but some of them I have tags on them,
oh wow.
so I could bring them your way.
Yeah. I do love an oversized plaid. It's a great look. Great look for any
Text you
occasion.
some photos.
Okay. Okay.
I have an array of colors too. You'd be surprised.
I thought we're doing like a swap meet later.
When you were a
Well, you guys
kid-
have not offered anything to me yet. so-
Oh, well, what do you
I'd
need?
love for your advice.
I have a lot of
I'll take
memorabilia
that.
or
I have a-
baseball cards, sports. I started sports cards and memorabilia, and horror memorabilia. If like vintage horror movie posters.
Yeah.
I can do any of this
I have
for
a
you.
cute wiener dog I could send you pics of.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
know.
sick. His name's
right?
Kevin.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Kevin.
Right there.
Yeah, he's the
Handsome boy.
cutest. Wait, you said old horror movie posters? Like what? Like the 60s, like that stuff, like Creature from the Black Lagoon. And Invisible-
Could be even older than that. I have a lot of like Vincent Price stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, yeah.
I took that aesthetic for the special. That,
I noticed.
Yeah,
I loved
pulled
it.
the colors of the backdrop on stage from the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love that pinball
I loved
machine.
the horror nod.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, when you grew up, when you were a little kid, did
Yeah.
you watch Disney movies?
So I'll name some and you tell me if they're Disney.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Fox and the Hound?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No one's ever named that as the first Disney movie.
I agree.
I have it on VHS, but like, wow, what a
Okay.
reach.
Robin Hood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big one. We used to have like the VHSs in those big
puffy box.
Yes,
puffy
the puffy
boxes.
boxes.
And they were
Disney
like
movies.
gold, like it was like
Yeah.
gold instead of like classics.
Yeah.
And we had like a
Vault.
slew of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, but the Disney movies that you mentioned didn't really have romance centered around them.
Yours are animal based.
Yeah, animal based and like fighting for the poor based. So, Corinne and I often talk about how Disney movies messed up our vision of what our love life was going to be like
Okay.
growing up.
And films in general, I think.
Yeah, like romance movies. But did you get any sort of like tainted view of love from the movies you consumed? If you're doing Fox and the Hound, doesn't sound like it.
Aristocats. I don't know.
That's a great one. Is that Disney? Yeah, it is Disney.
Yeah.
Dumbo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, none of these involve love.
Well, Bambi was fucked up.
Bambi
Yeah,
was
these are all
fucked up.
anxiety-inducing ones.
that was that.
So you didn't get.
I probably have trauma from Bambi right
Yeah.
now.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm a little bit before like, when like what's the one, the mermaid?
Yeah,
the
Little Mermaid.
and then the other one, the Aladdin.
Yeah.
Like that was like when I was like in like high school.
Oh, okay, so you
and
were
so
past.
I might have seen that like because people still watched them because they were like.
Yeah.
Disney movies were really, but it was like maybe at someone's house it was on or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like I'm watching more now.
Yeah.
I'm Encanto out the ass right now.
Nice.
You know Encanto?
Yes, I do.
I know it. I haven't
That's a
seen
great
it,
one.
though.
Oh, you got to watch Encanto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a great
so
one.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
The Pixar Disney movies are so good. Oh,
Yeah,
and then
did you see
Inside Out
Soul?
2.
I love Soul.
Oh, Inside Out 2. Have you seen Inside Out?
I did. But
one of
it
my
was
favorite
In the
ones.
theater, I forget it. It's the feelings.
Yeah, it's about all your different emotions and your memories and how you
Yeah.
grow up and they go away. Inside Out 2 is coming out in June.
I
this
bawl at
month.
these movies.
Me
I
too.
Bawl. I mean, it's an automatic.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
if
yeah.
a Disney movie's coming on, I'm gonna cry at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it really gets you.
They know how to do it.
So you're an anxiety guy?
Sure.
How pervasive is it for you?
Ebbs and flows, but at
Yeah.
its highest, it's pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? Like, okay.
Sucks. Anxiety sucks.
So
Yeah.
it seems like it started from a pretty young age based on the stories that you were telling in your special. But like, do you remember what was like the first time you felt this and you're like, am I having a heart attack or like what?
I don't think I had like a proper what we call anxiety attacks today until I was like way older.
Okay.
But I was as a kid.
You're just worried?
I wasn't a worried child, I don't think.
Okay.
But I was very meticulous.
Okay.
I don't know if these things play into each other, but
It could.
like kind of like like I have ADHD and I mean a splash of OCD.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah.
splash. It only manifests itself really in like one way.
Which is?
If I'm feeling sensitive toward it that day or heightened, like my eyes are very, very sensitive.
Okay.
And so light, but also like anything pointing toward my eyes.
Like a light.
No, light would like, sometimes I have to like, if I'm really having like a bad day with it, like I'll have to watch TV with like sunglasses on.
Whoa.
But-
yeah. Sometimes light hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like a light sensitivity, but that's just a byproduct. What I'm talking about is like, see your straw.
Yeah.
If it was pointed toward me and I was closer to you at the table, I would have to turn the straw away from pointing at me.
oh, classic.
So you have there's a fear associated, like, do you think these, like, the inanimate objects have an energy that's like going on to you?
So it's not
do.
anything rational, and I don't think it's.
Well,
gonna
I have
get
OCD too, and it's not a splash, like a good amount.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
that's why I'm trying to like.
Yeah. So basically what it is it's just it gets me very tense. Like it's like I know it's not gonna hit me in the eye, but also my body feels like it is. I'm not afraid
yeah.
it's gonna come out. It's just like it makes me like like kind of like whatever. And if I'm really like that, it always happens in the worst times. It's happened like. I mean, I live with it. I'm looking into getting hypnotized and seeing if that works.
Hypnotherapy's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah. But like it's happened, it'll happen at like, on a date or on like a job interview or like, during a podcast really. Like, and I'm just like
in a
balling my
heightened
feet
situation.
up. Yeah. And it's weird because I can't just turn, like my whole family and friends, they know. So they avoid things like that.
That's
or
sweet.
or I just don't have to ask them. I'll just turn their thing.
Yeah, they
But
won't
if
say
we were
it.
hanging out and I turned it, I can't just turn it because
Yeah,
you're going to
you
ask me
can't.
what it is. But then
If you turned it, I would immediately know that you had OCD.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't just turn it. But then the thing that sucks is then I'd have to go, please don't, don't mind me. Do you mind if I just turn this? And then I always have to like usually say why. And I hate the attention of it. I don't want to talk
Right.
about it. I don't want it to be shown. It's like, so it's this catch-22 where it's like, that's going to keep bothering me unless I say something. I don't want to make this about me and talk about the fucking OCD.
Yeah.
Do you ever try to push through it though? Because I mean, like to me, that's the real, like just have to, in your head, you'd be like, okay, so I'm not going to move it. And then if anything bad happens because I don't move it, it's actually not, it has nothing to do with the straw. It was just a coincidence.
Yeah, so I don't think anything bad's going to happen. It's just a physical response, a visceral physical
And you
response from
can't
my
stop.
body.
And you can't push, you can't.
If I get distracted enough, but if once
Right. Ooh.
so I could go a whole day if I'm not even thinking about it and not think. It's not like I
Yeah.
can deal with this every moment of every day.
Right.
I can go days without thinking of it, and then one day like it could be bothering me the whole day. So and if I don't notice sometimes, and then like let's say I was here this whole time, and then like at the end of this I notice something. I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't notice that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just makes me like get very like tense, and I get a headache.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Hypnotherapy
just-
is going to be great for that because
Yeah?
that's a subconscious. There's something subconscious happening, and you can't really identify what it is. So I've done hypnotherapy before, and stuff just comes out. And you think in hypnotherapy that you're like asleep or you're not going to remember, but you're actually just in such a deep meditation that you're the most present you've ever been.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Okay, I have two follow-ups to that. And I'm going to forget them because one is I want to tell you about the time I was hypnotized. But then go back, what were we just saying before that?
You're very present and you remember everything. And your subconscious mind, like you have access to
I'll
it.
tell you, I have a theory of why, but I don't think it's accurate. But
guess.
it was traumatic. Did you see like a red dot in my eye right
Yes.
here? My sister hit me in the face with a Malibu Ken.
Oh.
Somewhere around 87.
Oh, and it made that mark?
Yeah, his plastic
Holy shit, he
hand.
karate
He had
chopped
synthetic
you.
hair. Yeah, I remember him. And
That might be it.
I fell back, hit my head, and I think it scarred me a little bit. That was like I was in like 4th grade, I think, or something like that.
Then you had to have your eye poked and prodded, right? Because if that left a mark on your eye,
I don't remember. I remember like
yeah, that might be it.
I remember how bad it felt.
Yeah.
But I
Dude,
don't.
eye stuff is.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my theory, but I've told the doctor that, and he's like,
That makes a lot of sense if something got lunged at you unexpectedly. So you want to be in control of any possible thing that could like do it again.
I think so.
But hypnotherapy is great for that because then it just like releases the fear.
Yeah.
But you've gotten hypnotized before?
I've never done hypnotherapy. I like CBT was recommended, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
But it tends to be like pretty expensive. I honestly just got like my best friend's a therapist. He got me like an OCD workbook that I go through, and then a lot of it I just kind of like was pretty strict with myself, and I eliminated most of this stuff. The compulsions are easier to get rid of than the obsessions, though, because sometimes in your mind, I feel like I can't even sort through what's an obsession and what's just like a logical thought. I have a big problem with like if I got a stain on this dress, like I wouldn't be able to concentrate during the interview.
That's like I feel that I could feel that for sure.
I would just think about it the whole day. Like,
I didn't think that was. I thought that was just me being anal. I never attributed something like that to OCD.
No, because I'm not like I'm not overly clean. Like I'm not like obsessed with cleanliness. I'm like regular level clean, but like a stain or something, like if it got pulled, something like that, it like makes my skin crawl even talking about it.
Yeah, I do. I have realized lately that because I'm working really hard at the ADHD and correcting and like managing my time better.
That's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, I live off a system of just lists and alarms.
I have so many lists. I have so many. I have alarms that are like minutes apart from each other.
Same. I have like 30 a day.
Yeah.
And I have lists on lists.
Yeah.
I have buckets of lists, and then in those lists are prioritized lists. And ASAP, today, tonight, tomorrow, this week, in general.
It's very helpful because when you have a big list, sometimes have you ever seen a video of a fainting goat?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Their whole body stiffs up, and when I look at a long list, I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to do one of this.
I'll never not think of that now.
Yeah.
Don't they make a sound too? And they're like,
they scream. They go, ah!
Yeah.
They sound like a person.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
And it's like they're dead because they completely stiffen up.
It's like they get tased. Like, don't tase me.
Yes, exactly.
What's happening to the goats that they do that?
Their nervous system gets overwhelmed.
Oh,
so if you scare them, if you like scare them, but they're very easily scared. So if you just go boo, but it doesn't hurt them unless they like fall, if their head hits a rock.
People do it for like...
It is sad.
Oh, that's like cow tipping where they do it for sport.
Yeah. But sometimes when like a herd of goats has to move suddenly, a lot of them will go, ah, and they just fall.
They all go?
Some of them, yeah.
I dare you not to laugh.
Yeah, it's so funny. But it's a very good metaphor because with ADHD, like it's the overwhelm is like, I can't pay. I can look at my closet and I go, I have nothing to wear, and I'm staring at 18 shirts.
Yeah.
And I can't.
And my chest starts to beat faster, and I don't know where to start.
Yep.
And I get so flustered with where to start, and then I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Or like I know I have a list of things to do, and I'm procrastinating, and I should have been able to do them all in one day, and I procrastinate. And now it's getting to the point where it's like I can only do 2 of the 6 things.
Yeah.
And maybe I do them, but then I self-loathe that. I'm like,
oh, the shame, man. The shame pile on afterwards is the fucking worst.
yeah. So that's where I'm at with that.
But you got hypnotized before, you said.
In college, they had like a entertainment hypnotizer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And like they called a bunch of us on stage and stuff, and people were getting hypnotized, and I really wanted to get hypnotized.
Yeah.
And I was like, take me, yours, you know. Like,
you were thirsty for the hypnosis.
Yeah, I was like, I am fully on board, like just, whatever. And I mean, it was just like, he was like some people, he was like, look, you're going to do it. He talked for like 3 seconds. He's like, I'm going to count to this. You look at me. And they were like, and I'm like, are they fucking bullshitting?
Yeah.
Because then he did it, and he snapped, and I was like, okay. And then I didn't want to let him down, and so I acted hypnotized.
Of course, that's probably what he was hoping.
Yeah, he's banking on that.
I was wondering, I was like, are we all acting hypnotized up here? Because it was like got a little racy.
Were you like,
it got a little racy?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Did he?
Well,
was
he'd
he
be like, all right,
handsy?
go, like, you're a chicken, and people want to say, and then one girl, he's like, it's hot. So, and she took off for a sweater.
Classic.
Oh, he knew what he was doing.
Classic hypnosis.
But I'm like, if she's faking it, then good for her. She commits, because I would just be like, no.
That would be a woman thing to be like, this guy's bad at his job. I feel bad. I'm going to make him feel good at his job.
By taking my top off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you like faked it. Yeah, that's some shit
I faked it, but I just don't, I know it happens, but I really have a hard time wrapping my mind around how.
Well, hypnotherapy involves at least 20 minutes of straight meditation first.
Okay.
So you are so relaxed that your house could catch on fire and you're like, I'm going to get that later.
Okay.
You know, like you're so calm. It's really, I've never experienced anything like
Really?
it. And a lot of stuff comes up. And you can, and it's cool because this isn't funny, but I think it's funny. 2 psychics told me I was molested as a kid. So that's why I did the hypnotherapy. Because I was like, one psychic tells you you're molested. Nah.
Yeah.
But 2 psychics tell you you're molested in the same
Shame
year.
on
You're
you.
like, maybe that's on me. Yeah. So all these memories came up. But you can relive something traumatic when you're hypnotized and be completely not emotional about it. And you can go, oh wow, that like I see the scene from it, but I don't feel the emotion. I'm like, I'm still the same person. But also, hosting this podcast for 10 years, you talk about molestation a lot because a lot of people are molested.
Sure.
And so I'm just very comfortable with the topic. So that might have helped too. But it was a really great way to relive something that you shoved down, and it wasn't traumatizing in any way.
Wow. So when you're under, you're fully cognizant still?
Fully.
So what if you're fully cognizant, how are you under? I don't what's
So
going
you're not
on?
really under. So you're in deep meditation.
You're like after you get a massage, almost is
Kind
like
of,
that,
yeah.
that kind of mental state,
Euphoric.
like a massage.
I had the eye mask on so I could concentrate, and it was over Zoom. She was right there over
She
Zoom.
hypnotized you over Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about like she went through some I did past life regressions too, which are similar, but you're just going after different memories. And we go, what's your favorite food to eat? Think of a couple friends that you love hanging out with. And she walked me through the scene of like, do you like the beach? Do you like a park? I'm like, oh, I like a foresty park. We're like, okay, so we walked into that. There was a picnic blanket with all my favorite food. And it was just, you painted the most wonderful, custom to you, comforting scene, and then you walk down a hallway and you open a door. 3, 2, 1. Where are you? Go. And then for the most recent one where I was like, well, I'm molested. I was in my house and I was just immediately got taken to there. It was really interesting.
I would want to experience that, but I just don't believe that's going to happen. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to feel the pressure to just say something.
By the time she says that, and I guess everybody's a little different.
Everyone also can't get hypnotized. Like there's stats on that. Like it's not something everyone can do. Cause like I also did a past life regression and you basically have to go into this hypnotic state. I was completely unable to. And I tried.
Yeah.
I wasn't I was kind of like, I'm not sure if this is a real thing or not, but I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing that kind of feeling and going with the flow and seeing what my genuine experience is.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get there. But I do kind of what you just explained. Like my therapist will do that with me. I find it to be calming,
It's
but
so
I don't I'm not hypnotized.
You know what's great too, and I think this I've heard this really helps with ADHD, just with grounding. And this is a more extreme type of therapy, but ketamine infusions.
Oh, I've heard of that.
That shit. I've never done ketamine recreationally. A
friend of mine does it and swears by it.
It builds neuroplasticity.
Is it Ari Shafir?
Yes.
No,
Or
Louis J. Gomez.
Is it Louis J. Gomez? No, a lot of people do it recreationally.
They go to a hospital to do it.
Mm-hmm. There's this place I went to and they hook you up with an IV, like an intravenous, and you go into a K-hole, but it is so relaxing. And then afterward, it's just very calming. And then afterwards, you're just like, nothing matters. Like in a good way, you know? Not like a fuck this, nothing matters, but you're just so
interesting,
calm.
I was going to try to start microdosing mushrooms to see if that helped without anything, but I can't do ayahuasca. I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But even though people have told me that it has really cured fears of theirs and whatnot, but then also it's just too much of a wild card for me.
Yeah, I've done ayahuasca, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. But that I've watched people have very extreme reactions, and I was like,
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Well, do you feel like you have a lot of stuff deep down that hasn't been unearthed?
So I'm going to therapy right now for childhood, which I never did.
Oh, interesting.
And for me, it's I don't look back at my childhood and feel anything really. I'm not it was fine,
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to know myself more, and it's impossible to not have anything. And
Right.
so I just want to be in
Right.
touch with myself and my history and everything like that. I mean, my parents divorced when I was 4.
okay, that's something.
Pretty young, but I never felt. I always felt their presence and everything like that.
But even if they were amicable, the splitting up of a family, there's this scale that I used to go to these meetings, adult children of alcoholic or dysfunctional families.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scale of I forget what they're called, but certain things that can happen in a child's life. One of them is divorce. That could be traumatic, whether or not your parents were very kind to each other. Your family unit was separating. So
Right.
that in and of itself, you didn't have to cry and scream for that to be traumatic.
Okay.
So that was a structure that was unstable. Even though you were so young, you were getting a sense because kids absorb everything.
Yeah, right.
So there's probably something there.
Yeah, and just to learn why I have some of the traits I have and things like that.
Yeah.
Again, it might be OCD, but I waste so much time doing unnecessary things, and I don't. By that I don't. by that I don't mean distractions, because that is it, a distraction. But I mean if I'm writing you a text, if I'm feeling it that day, like I'll have to go back and like make it grammatically correct before I hit send. It's just annoying. It's not, I don't have to. Okay, this is not like the eye thing. I don't get like that, but I'm just like, I'm so buttoned up with everything. I just like it to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that can be my downfall because like if you tell me to do the like most mundane thing, like count these threads in this carpet, I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability, and I'm gonna be annoyed if I don't.
Right.
That's OCD, I think, because it's like the perfectionism when it becomes like debilitating.
Yeah. It's not debilitating, but it's peppered around, throughout.
If you get sick of yourself.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're like, Jesus Christ, can we just go to the beach or something?
Overthinking is the thing. That's what
neurosis.
Overthinking.
Yeah.
I overthink myself into oblivion.
And that's usually a control thing a lot of times. And I think like a kid, I think you're right. Every kid's gonna get scarred from something from their childhood, whether it be from their parents or like a kid bullying them or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're gonna unearth some good stuff.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Well, with this like perfectionism and stuff, like how is that why you like pranking people? Is there a sense of freedom in there because you kind of don't have control of the outcome?
Oh no, we needed to think of an idea.
I thought this was like your healing mechanism.
No, everyone, I was like, so who do you prank at home? I'm like, I never pranked anybody.
So
that deep.
Funny.
No, it's not my thing. I didn't do it before that. I don't do it now. It was one of like 3 ideas we pitched.
Wait, what were the other ideas?
Jesus, I forget now because this was 2010. But
87 years ago.
we had pitch meetings set up without anything to pitch.
Oh,
in less than 1 week. I've told the story before, but you're on it.
I'm interested in this though because I could not imagine going into a room unprepared.
Well, I'm also at the edge of my seat. I'm a super fan.
Yeah,
I know. It's so awesome.
It worked.
Yeah.
Your method worked.
Right. I can't. Being unprepared is like. That's I over like, man. Like if I want all the information.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. I don't want to come to you and you ask me something and then you have a follow-up question and I don't already know that.
Yeah, right.
I just want to be prepared for everything all the time, and that permeates everything. And in some cases it's really good.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it's not. But we had the thing booked and we were like, we should pitch. We got to think of ideas.
Think of a thing to pitch.
We went to lunch. And we thought of like 3 ideas. This was 5 days before the pitch meeting.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of them was Jokers. We went the next night into Times Square with the 4 of us with just our phones and a lav mic. And we shot like 4 or 5 little scenes of it.
Nice.
We cut it together. And they bought it 5 days later.
Oh my God.
Corinne, I think we've been over preparing for our pitches.
You never really sell anything in the room. That never happens. It never happened again. I pitched hundreds of things.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just lucky, right place, right time, right. Just everything just kind of clicked.
Yeah.
And they're just very lucky. But yeah, it was kind of wild. MTV offered to buy it in the room. And then we pitched a few people, and 2 days later it was true.
Yeah.
And MTV wanted to make it a game show and not have the same people. Oh. They wanted to make a strip show and do like reoccurring. They had like a pool of comedians
like a
and real
rotating
contestants, just like a game show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And we were like, that's not. We want them to like get to know us and then root for us. And then
Because your friendship's part of it.
It's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have known them for 35 years.
Wow.
So then True was like, we like it, and they were like, we'll do that version. And we told them there was another offer, and they were like, is it MTV? And we were like,
No.
Yeah. I'll never forget it. They were like, yeah. And she goes, oh, fuck them. She goes, they're so cheap, they won't give you any money for anything. But they kept it, with us. And prior to that, I had we got a pilot presentation and a pilot and things like that. And scripted, and it just always kind of shit the bed. But,
scripted stuff.
But
that's cool to get like, the show is so, I remember like when they're like, oh, Sal Vulcano, I'm like, yeah. And then people are coming up to you, I'm like, who the fuck are you famous? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then Corinne is obsessed with the show and like she would literally, I think you told him this, like,
but I didn't, initially I was like you too. I was just kind of like, oh, I know that you had some really, like I got in like way late, like season 8 or something you were on.
But then
that's
you
good.
caught
I
up.
don't like the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then but that's gotta be really cool to have something blow up, but it's because it's you and your friends having fun.
Yeah.
So like the crowd that you're going to draw, the fans that you're going to draw, it can't be that annoying. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't really pick your fans.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when we went to the thing, we drove down to San Diego, right?
I
To
think
see
so.
your
The Comic-Con, yeah.
the people there were so lovely. And I was like, that's so dope that you have all these fans, but they're like good people.
Yeah. Was this at Petco Park?
It was a baseball park,
stadium,
and it was
Yeah.
like you turned it into like a it was really cool.
Yeah,
a lot
they
of
just did all
inflatable
those-
shit.
Those
and-
activities. Yeah, we did that like 8 years in a row, and it got bigger and bigger. Now we don't do it now because I'm just like I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, well, you want
I
new
can't fly
experiences.
there for 5 days and just it's just too much.
It's a lot. Yeah, I imagine it's a lot.
But that's
like,
right. You guys came. Yeah.
that was really fun.
How did you find it?
What, the show?
So, yeah, it was like up on the road.
Well, like I said, one of my best friends from high school, Asia Evans, was a PA on your show.
Oh, right.
And so I heard, that's how I probably initially heard about it. And then I just kept seeing it. And I guess I was like, I still pay for like regular TV because there's something really nice and calming about flipping channels.
I agree.
But and then I think I flipped to it one day and just started watching it and then never stopped. And then it became like an addiction. Like I think I was telling you, like I used to call, when we were on tour, I would call hotels in advance to ask them if they had True TV because and then I would race home from the show if there was a new episode. This is actually just embarrassing.
Unbelievable.
I was there.
I'm humbled.
Because it became, it really became a healing thing. And I was saying, I think I stayed in a relationship longer than I should have because
of Impractical Jokers?
Impractical Jokers healed it.
Okay.
Because it became this bonding experience for us, and as long as there were new episodes available, the relationship could continue.
Because every couple has a show, and if you watch a show without your partner, you're like, why'd you fucking watch a show without? You know what I mean? That's a good one.
And it's good for guys and girls because it's like it wasn't like more of a girl show or more of a guy show. I mean, also I have a 12-year-old boy's sense of humor. Like the funniest thing to me on the planet. Have you ever gone on YouTube and seen these videos
milk jugs?
of the milk jug guys?
I love the milk jugs. It's impossible not to laugh.
I could watch it every day and I would laugh an equal amount.
Impossible.
It's the funniest thing to me. And to me, your show, it's just the milk jug different ways.
That's great, yeah.
And I mean, I can't. Nothing brings me a greater joy.
Casey Jost, who now directs the show.
Oh, yeah.
Who started as a PA, then a writer, then a head writer, and then directs the show now. Him and I milk jugs all the time.
Oh, that's
cracking
great.
up. We just
Dude, it's so fucking
It's
funny.
so funny.
It's something so simple, and you're like, oh, like it's so nice to laugh at like someone doing some dumb shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were. I mean, it's like escapism.
Yes.
We didn't want to do. We just wanted to make it broadly funny.
Yeah.
And just do what we think is funny.
There's no hidden meaning behind it. You don't got stop people from thinking.
Yeah,
It's nice.
And that's what the feedback we get. Like the feedback I get the most that I didn't anticipate was that it brings families together from ages like 5 to 90.
Yeah,
I hear that so much, and it's just so wonderful to hear. I mean, we didn't set out to do that.
Yeah.
And
it's like that show, Is It Cake? It's a great show because it's just so simple. You don't know if it's cake or not, and sometimes you really think it's not cake and it's cake.
They wanted
That's
to
great.
bring that concept into a punishment, and I turned it down. I was like, what am I? They wanted me to just go around the room biting stuff.
Yeah, that's not good for just if you have like a hygiene issue at all.
Do you still work with all? You still do the show with all the guys?
Yeah, well, Joe left about a season ago. He left mid 9, but the other 3 I do.
So how is it? Like
That
people
too.
ask us, Corinne and I, this all the time. Like how you've stayed together for 10 years and you work together, and we say like there's you have to work on the relationship. It's like our longest relationship ever, either of us. And so for you guys, like guys are a little bit more chill with their friendships, it seems from the outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but how have you guys, like, do you guys have to do maintenance on your friendship to make sure you still all get along?
Yeah, over the years, everyone's had their little tiffs with each other.
Yeah.
I would say, like, look, I've known those guys 34 years. We've been working together for 13 on the show. Maybe there was blowouts I can count on one hand. Maybe,
That's amazing.
Maybe 3 or something like that.
That's not bad.
And it's always repaired pretty quickly.
Yeah. That's a guy. Guys can do that.
General annoyance, maybe a little more. But honestly, it's been so long since anything like that has happened. Anything.
Wow.
It's just like we're all on. Look, we learn how to make the show efficiently. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're grown men now.
Right. You're self-actualized.
And it's just like we're all working toward the same goal. If there's creative differences, we just kind of like let each other do our thing. You know what I mean? So I really like try to avoid friction there because it doesn't have to be, I don't really think.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're moody, just be like, I'm moody today. Just fucking don't look at me.
I'm not one to really fight with anybody or argue with anybody. I'll try to, I'll try to diffuse something first or just find common ground or whatever. I hate fighting or arguing.
Oof, yeah, it gives me the willies.
Yeah.
What's like the biggest fight you've ever had with a person?
With the person?
Yeah, with anybody.
Like in a relationship or just friendship?
Or whatever fight like affected you the most.
Oh my goodness, I got to think about this. I mean, I've had a couple of blowouts with the guy, but like I don't really know. I mean, the biggest fight, like I shouldn't have said that, and it damaged our relationship. And
Yeah.
shit. I don't know.
Celebrity feud?
What's that?
A celebrity feud?
A celebrity feud.
Juicy.
No, I don't think I'd have a feud with a celebrity. I don't think. I mean, past relationships, I've had fights and stuff, but again, everybody I've ever dated, I'm friendly with. So I don't.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there negative feedback you get?
I'm sweetie. Remember?
Yeah, you're
are
sweet.
sweetie.
I know. And it's still checked out. Still sweetie.
But is there so I feel like in a relationships, there's a lot of times we'll get the same feedback from partners until we fix that thing about ourselves. Is there a feedback that you got a lot of times in relationships, so many times that you were like, okay, I can actually see this as a problem if everyone has the same complaint?
Sure. So I've only been in like 3 really serious long-term relationships over the years. The first one was I was very young, and so I don't think any of that comes into play there.
Yeah.
The second one was 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I don't really recall having like I was
12 years too, it could fade.
without giving too much away. Like it was a wonderful person and never had any animosity or ill will toward each other. But we had fundamental issues that we later in the relationship tried to get through. And at some point, it's like, all right, if we're not going to get through these.
Yeah.
And that was like the toughest thing in my life.
Dude, yeah, a lot. I ended a 7-year relationship, and that we were not good for each other anymore. We just grew apart, like you do. But it's so hard to end it. You're like, can you just do something shitty so I can just, end it and feel good about it? But it's tough.
Yeah, and I like to be committed. When I'm committed, like just like the fibers in this carpet,
right.
I take that into relationships. So my first relationship, again, it was young, and I think she ended that, and first love and all that.
Yeah.
Second relationship was way, way harder. I never had to do anything like that.
Really?
And it was just terrible. It was one of the worst things I ever had to do.
Ending it was.
Yeah, even just saying it right now, I still to this day.
Because it's
It's
with
tough.
relationships, like.
You don't ever want to hurt someone in that way.
Yeah, and you're like, we loved each other one day, and then is it just gone? Like,
No,
it's like
it
the
doesn't.
death of love. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it feels sometimes.
I think sometimes when people have animosity, maybe it can cloak the love. The love goes away, or you try to remember just the good. I don't know. But this person, like, no, I didn't. Even when we were breaking up, I wanted like to be there for her and be the best. She's the best, like, and so, man, that was really, really tough to do that. But and then since then, I've been in the relationship I'm in now.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm good to go. Like in those 3 relationships, I thought all of them would be the ones that would last.
Yeah.
The first 2 didn't. This one will.
Yeah.
My best.
Are you a romantic guy?
Yeah, like I'm not like cheesy.
Thank God.
No, really not cheesy, but certainly.
Like, what kind of romances? What do you get from Sweetie Sal?
Yeah, I'm always thinking about my wife and how I could do something nice for her, surprise her, ease a burden. Make her smile.
That's amazing.
I surprise her a lot with little things. I'm always getting her like little things. I think my love language is giving. I think I've been told.
Yeah.
We stay in a really good space. We complement each other well. Is that
Speaking
me?
of the alarms,
Oh my God, that's me.
what does this alarm say? What is this one for?
Gotta go on, guys.
This one is not titled, but
I thought it was my phone.
one that I always get shit for is my 9 p.m., which is no smoke, meaning weed, no smoking, no junk except fruit.
Oh, that's a good reminder.
Every night at 9 o'clock, because I felt like that was the time that was like the gray area.
Get that blunt out. Yeah.
Like I need to wind down.
It's
if I
fruit
smoke,
time.
But we work really hard at our relationship. Really hard. We've been to therapy. Therapy towards the beginning, therapy, anytime we feel like we need it. I'm big on therapy. It's a necessity. So
that's great.
Yeah.
What has couples therapy, like, what have you gained from couples therapy that you could like tell other couples? So I feel like a lot of people associate couples therapy with we're on our way out, but that's not true.
No, we did it for the exact opposite, to strengthen. It just teaches you, I mean, like nothing that we don't know, but it's putting it into practice.
Yeah.
About like empathy and listening and understanding, finding common ground, and it's not about right and wrong, and it's not no
You're on the same team.
harboring anything. You know what I mean? Being able to admit you're wrong, say you're sorry.
Yeah.
I don't let anything go. I'm not perfect, but like if I can help it, if we have what I would consider a pretty, like if we're bumping heads, whatever, because we both live very busy lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's just, you don't want to bring that to each other, but it's impossible.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just make sure like I make sure I reconcile anything as fast as I can. When I step away from something like that, I immediately stop and say, what would have been the best way I could have handled this? And how did I handle it?
Yeah.
And what would be the best way for me to handle it right this second? And even if it's a tough thing to do, because sometimes you can't flip a switch.
Yeah, those emotions, man.
I will try to hold myself to that, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you put as much thought into a relationship as a woman does. And that's nice to hear from a man. That's really nice, because a lot of times, Corinne and I will talk about these things, and it's like, I don't know if our partner thinks about this much.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that a guy does.
Yeah.
Well,
it's important to remember that the person's not your enemy. Like, you're working for the same goals. So even if you have a disagreement, sometimes you could lose sight of the fact that, like, you love this person, you want the best for this person, like, there's really no need to act like this.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I've screamed in a boyfriend's face, we're on the same team.
We're on the same team.
It's easy to forget, because love and hate are so close. And I think if you've
agree.
been, like, I have had some scars from my youth with like parent-child relationships. And it's like, so quickly I have to go, Krystyna, your boyfriend is not your enemy. You're like, because it just, it's so easy
deprogram
to go, like, to want to like hurt you back. And it's like, no. That's not how you resolve stuff. Like, and you're like, oh, wow, that's wild.
Yeah. I from a young age, I always feel really good. It's almost like selfish in a way, but not because it's not, but I feel really good doing things for people.
Oh, it's the best.
And to make other people feel good. Like, I know it sounds like corny, but I really feel that.
Yeah.
So like, I'm always doing it.
Yeah.
And so, and it makes me feel good. So like, for me to think about like, oh, what would brighten her day or make her happy, or how, like, if I clean the whole place before she, yes, exactly right. And it's not a burden, because my perspective of it is that I'm excited to do it.
Yeah.
So that really helps. Perspective is huge, right?
Yeah. Whenever I'm in an anxiety state, I'm like, how can I be of service to somebody in my life? That always just takes me out of it.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
I've also been reading up on like this thing called emotionally focused therapy, and it's based on like years and years of testing. But I'm reading a book about it, and they kind of said like when you get in a disagreement with your partner, like basically 100% of the time, it's that someone is crying out, making a plea for intimacy, and then the other person can respond usually one of two ways, by either becoming like the negative ways to respond are being combative or distancing yourself.
Very interesting.
But really, basically, like kind of every problem in a relationship, the root is someone feels a disconnect, and that it's emotionally. I did think a lot about you. It's like an emotional cry. Because I was reading
yelling at your boyfriend for something that's not what you're yelling at. Is not what I want. I know what I want, but I'm too chicken shit to say.
Right, because I'm the distant one, right? So the way I deal with it is like to end it, but it's not because I don't care. A lot of times. First of all, I'm distancing because if someone's like yelling at me, I cannot think. I don't know what's going on. I like literally need to take a lap around the block and just think about it. So first of all, I'm not going to come back. I don't ever want to be in a place where I'm going to say something regrettable. It's been a really long time since I've like screamed something regrettable at somebody.
Well, I can't even imagine you doing that.
And
so calm.
Well, I've worked on it. And I also... My brother was kind of like that growing up. And I was like,
that's great though, because
I knew how bad it felt to receive it. And I love my brother very much, but I just saw that and I was like, sometimes I think, you can see traits in your family members that you love and you go, oh, I have this too. And then you also review it and you say, these are things I definitely don't want to carry with me. And when I of course naturally fall into them and I immediately try to be like, how can I get out of this loop?
Yeah. But dude, that cry for intimacy.
Yeah.
It's such why is it so vulnerable? I gotta read that book to tell your partner you just want them to hug you.
Yeah.
That's such a crazy thing that feels scary to say.
Well, because I was getting angry at like my part, so, and I was saying like, yeah. And so you get angry because it feels like the person is saying to you, like, you're a failure. Then you start feeling like you're failing you're failing as a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or whatever it may be. And that's not really, they just don't have the tools to tell you, I want to be closer to you. And then obviously if you get in an argument, you don't want to like cuddle.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Gosh.
So maintaining connection.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. It's the lifeline.
How do you have suggestions for that, just for people? Because a lot of people say that, and I deal with that too in my relationships. And when it's your own relationship, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to take yourself out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I lend that to her more because I go on the road a lot, and my work schedule is workload is untenable. Really, it's not, and I know that. I know that. I try to do whatever I can to alleviate that, but you know, we could tell right away. It was so clear, you know, that there's something going on. And she'll just say to me sometimes, I feel disconnected.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
helpful.
And I'm like, I know, I already know, you know.
Right.
And sometimes we know we feel disconnected, but we don't even have time to address it, you know.
Right.
And so then it comes when it comes on your desk, you know, comes to go over the desk. Then you're like, all right, let's just deal with this, you know, right now.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it's tougher than other times, you know. But
And also all relationships too, I'm realizing ebbs and flows. Like you're not going to just be having hot sex all the time.
Right.
That's really what I thought.
Absolutely
That's not a relationship in any way. In fact, the relationship is just being able to, something that you've always said, Corinne, just sit on the couch and not talk.
Oh,
and it's you feel close.
yeah, the in between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are the moments
all
that
those
matter.
moments. Yeah, 100%. You know, and it's like I find that like so I've been dating. Well, I'm married now, but I was with so it's somewhere around what year are we?
2024.
Let's call it somewhere around 12 years like that.
Okay.
And you don't think that you can know a person more, or be more familial, or you know,
Peel
the more
back new layers
experiences
with
you
them.
share together, no matter what it is, it's just like it's common sense that you're going to connect more because you have more shared experience. And then you have a family, and that brings it to a whole nother level.
Gosh, yeah.
And so, you know, for me, it's like I know her so well, and I know myself well enough. I'm always working on that, but like, you know, I don't know. I just remind myself, you know, exactly what are we trying? What are we doing here? Like, what are we trying to do here? You know?
Yeah.
And I put her on a pedestal. You know, like I want to.
That's helpful.
Yeah,
But that's correct. I mean, like also if you're talking about like
Male, female
masculine,
energy.
feminine energies, basically like you're always supposed to adore the feminine energy, and then she's supposed to respect you. I mean, and you can swap it. The man doesn't have to be in the masculine energy, but like
Sure.
basically those two energies have to coexist in a relationship.
Yeah.
Apparently for it to work. I mean,
That makes
I
sense,
wouldn't
though.
know.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'll let you
you
know
know.
if I see it. No, but putting your yeah.
You get married. You think about this. Like, why am I getting married?
Right.
Like, at first, I didn't like the whole concept of marriage.
Yeah. Right.
Even with her, I told her, I don't know if I'll ever get married to you. I will be exactly what a husband should be.
Right.
I will stay with you forever. Like,
And we
there's
could
going to
just
be
do that
no
without
different
the-
than government paperwork.
Right.
And I was against it. I really was. And I just, why are they interfering with this?
I agree.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then she you know, didn't feel the exact same, but she would, you know, respect my opinion and stuff. But then it came to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna do it. You know, I'm just gonna do it. And then when I turned that switch and I was like, I'm gonna do it, I started to think about, you know, well then I should get on board with it. Like instead of thinking about it like this, I need to have a different perspective about it.
Yeah. Be intentional about it.
Yeah, exactly right. And I'm all for it, right? I was like, well, I'm all for that. Like I love, you know. And then something happens after we got married, it felt different.
How?
As much as it's just that like it just feels like a next level expression of commitment and love. And
Totally.
It just I was like, I went from like, F marriage tradition like that way to I love being married.
Oh, wow,
You know, like,
that's cool.
I love it. Like I love it. I love it so much.
Because what other time in your relationship other than marriage and having a child, but like marriage is like the first like, guys, we love each other and we commit to each other. You don't ever do that in your relationship. Like usually couples don't like sit down and go, where are we in our relationship? Where do we want to be? Like you kind of just automatically have to do all that accounting when you get married, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess so. But we had a long runway together. So
Yeah.
you know, we were together 7 years or something before we got married.
That's cool because then it is introducing something different into a relationship after you've already been together.
It feels
for a while.
good. You have like, even though it's not, it's just like when you have a kid. It feels like you have a new title, a new role.
Yeah.
and it's exciting.
Roles are actually very good and healthy.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Because again, like I want to be the best dad I can be. I want to be the best husband I can be. I grade myself. You have to have this is the
Standards.
thing. It could start with you. You just make sure you have high standards for yourself and hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, interrogate your actions and values.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, you have to start. You have to parent yourself, and as an adult, I was thinking of this concept, like in my kitchen over the weekend, and it's like I feel like a lot of adults are fuck ups because they don't punish themselves, and I don't mean in these societal ways, like especially for women. A lot of times, like we'll restrictively eat or something. That's not what I mean at all. But like for me in my life, if I have a project that I need to finish and I don't finish it, like I'm not allowed to go out with my friends. I apply these rules to myself.
That's a really
and I
good way to
feel
parent
like
yourself.
a lot of people aren't. They're just letting themselves have dessert and they didn't eat dinner. Like,
yeah, I think a lot of people that were like had more traumatic upbringings, I think like they look at parenting themselves as babying themselves.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we want to talk about the people who babied me the least, it's especially my mom.
Yeah,
but my parents in general, like no one held me to higher. I mean, I hold myself to an extremely high standard, but like it's because I was brought up in a household. I had an Asian upbringing, Sal. So basically straight A's.
Shoes off at the door?
No, not hygienically.
I grew up in a gutter.
But just like unless it was perfect, there was room for improvement. So
and that didn't fuck you up.
You can.
You're still successful.
You're very mentally grounded, though.
There's two ways to go. It could. I'm sure it can fuck many people up. And like, I had to teach myself how to relax and have fun, but also like
that's not bad. But that's what you had to teach yourself as an adult. That's pretty good.
And also I can logically be like, actually everything doesn't have to be perfect. And that was kind of the end of it.
Totally true.
Like, okay. Actually it was fine. I also knew that when I was a kid too. I was like, all right, relax. I really did my best.
I do think some kids are just born really fucking sensitive. And then if shit happens to you and you're sensitive, you're like, oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
I guess I wanted this life.
Yeah, you're behind the 8 ball in that respect.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're equally sensitive now as you were when you were a child? Because I know like your stand-up special a lot is like you're very sensitive.
It's hard being sensitive.
And it is hard. And it's also incredibly interesting that someone as sensitive as you decided to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
We're savages.
Yeah.
How do you survive?
I'm not a savage.
You're not. You're
like
sweet.
in that respect, like in my comedy or like, but I just love comedy. I wanted to be a comedian. That's what I wanted to be from when I was little. So it's like, I just love making people laugh. I love laughing.
Yeah.
I laugh. I'm a big laugher. Like I'll laugh at, a lot of times as comics, we're like, oh, that's funny. But I will still laugh. I'll laugh at my friend's jokes I've heard 10 times already.
Yeah.
I just, it's fun.
And it feels natural. It's just like your body's orgasm is laughing. Yeah, it really is the best.
I don't know. I think I've gotten possibly more sensitive as I get older because I've opened my mind up to a lot more things and I've received a lot more things. Like it's as a kid, you're guarded from a lot of things and like this terrible life, the whole atrocities in this world, but like I tend to take those on. It's hard for me to shake those types of things. So it's not, I can access those feelings very easily, especially in interpersonal relationships, loving family and stuff like that. And I have, the thing I'm working on the most is the death. Just the fear of my parents leaving me, a fear of my own and everyone around me. Like I just, that's from a kid. And so and because I have ADHD and OCD and perfection, sometimes I think of something and I overthink it. So I overthink death all the time and it's just really bad. And so I'm working on that and I understand like that can bring me immediately emotionally, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Of
Did
course.
something happen when you were a child, death related or grief related?
No, like I was so lucky. I still have one grandparent, but I had 3 till pretty late in life.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's great.
And the only person I lost, that was as important to me as them was a dear friend. But that was like 2010. So like it didn't play into the factor.
But that was your first big death, 2010 was?
Of a friend, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I've never lost a friend. Corinne's had death in her life a lot. I'm like, I cannot imagine.
I was like, death and sex are my areas of expertise.
Double threat.
Yeah.
But like losing a friend has got to be such a mind fuck.
Yeah, it was wild. And one of my biggest supporters, good guy.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
It took a while. I'm still, I could talk about him and cry immediately.
Yeah, of
I have
course.
access to that right away
Because it's how much you love them. Is how much you when you take that with you.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering. I wondered to myself, how do I like not have to access this as much as I do? You know what I mean?
The feelings, the sensitivity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Well,
like
but the thing is, what the alternative to that? Because I hear you, but the alternative is like to be hardened, and it's like that's not a way to live. I'd much rather be on the verge of tears at any moment than hard.
Well, no, I'm
hardened.
not on the verge of tears or every
that's just me.
moment.
Yeah.
But I can. but
I
I
can bring them
can
up.
be. No,
you
I
could
can
say something. I'm like, oh gosh.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could get them quickly, but I'm not walking around like, oh,
Right.
You know, like,
Well, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, part of it's good. It's you because when you feel, you really feel. You know, like, but I don't really until I had my daughter. I didn't feel happy, like really feel happy. That went away. I just talked about this recently, but I used to feel happy in the way that we're supposed to feel happy, and then it was like a new version of happiness for the last couple like decade. I mean, it's just like telling myself that I'm happy, understanding that in this moment with this news or in this, you know, I'm supposed to be happy, but it didn't emanate out of my soul.
Got it.
Do you think that was because of how fame affected you?
No, I don't think fame has affected me at all. Actually.
Well, I'm like, you actually, one of my notes
Your
about
fans
you is
seem
you
pretty
don't
respectful.
seem like a famous person in the best sense of it. Like you don't.
I don't want to be a famous person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like study fame like in the way that Andy Warhol did. I'm fascinated by the concept of it. And I do think it's like, for most people, it makes them mentally ill.
Yeah, I've seen, it's without a doubt, I've watched people, it's a ridiculous amount of people go from not famous to famous because of the positions that we're in.
Of course.
So I've seen it firsthand, and most people are not equipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Whether it's there's a spectrum.
Sure.
You know, but me myself, I'm a private person. I don't think I have no ego or anything. I don't like being the center of attention unless I'm on stage. You know, like so. I just like I just took it with a grain of salt. I live my life the exact same way. I'm not flashy or anything. I don't know. I just try to keep good company, and I don't know. It's a shame to see friends get that, and then something is awoken in them or something like that, and it's like
beast.
It's an ego thing.
Yeah.
It's an ego thing. I think just as though like we have close access to our like sensitive people have access to their emotions. I feel like fame gives you way too easy access to like the worst part of your ego.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a shame when you could tell that people think they're better than someone or their worth is measured via their ego or accomplishments. You see it a lot, but.
Well, that's why it's so
not
interesting
you, you're
to see.
sweetie.
No, because it was interesting. It's been interesting to watch you progress in stand-up because it's like you're already famous from this other thing, but then stand-up's like, we don't give a fuck that you're good at pranks.
Yeah,
so you come
exactly.
in and you just like, just saw you work and work and work, and then to watch the special, you're like, whoa, that
worked.
Paid the fuck off.
Thank you so much.
Like when you said, like, I only do something if I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. I think that's really, you can really see that in the special.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like for real. And
Thank you
I
so
mean, I'm
much.
not just, we know I do love you, but I compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that I'm some stand-up expert, but I was like,
No, it means so much.
this is,
wow, thank you.
I was laughing out loud a lot. My
yeah,
dog was
dude.
very irritated.
That's so
He was
nice.
very pissed at me. He was like, oh, stop laughing.
So
That's great. I feel great about that. Thank
It
you.
was so, like, no, I just love, because I'm like, we've all watched you do the work.
yeah.
And everyone doesn't do the work like that when they
That's why I
have
love stand-up.
another, like, because it's like, I think like the audience would have showed up whether or not you put the work in because of jokers. But like, I think then to show them, wow, I worked really hard at this. I'm really passionate about this. Like it's palpable.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but our name's on that shit, you know?
Yeah.
I wish more people thought like that.
Yeah,
Right.
come on. It's like you got to I got to represent myself the best way I can.
Yeah. So we have to wrap up, but what is your
Oh my God, that was so fast, and we didn't talk about anything like relationship-wise at all. I feel
Oh, we
bad.
did. We
Okay.
actually did. We touched on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Of like the connection back and anxiety and because all those things pop up.
It
in
wasn't
relationships.
terribly funny. I mean, we were
Oh, I
supposed to
thought it
go
was
on-
great.
No, this is our show. We like to get deep, but I think
Yeah.
it's also like people know you're funny. They've seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
we like to dig in and see what we can get
to know.
tinker around your brain a little bit.
Yeah, also it's an excuse to like get to know our colleagues on a deeper level when
Sure.
we never would have otherwise.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, we
Yeah,
get
it's
an hour to
great.
pick your brain. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. I love you guys. You guys are great. Since I met you guys, I just like I I have a fond place in my heart for you guys.
Oh, thanks, Sal.
I do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ditto.
So promote your special. It's Terrified. It's on YouTube. And that's
Corinne, you promote
It's
it.
free. It's on YouTube.
Will
It's
even
called,
promote his own special.
it's called Terrified. It's on 800 Pound Gorilla's channel. They're a stand-up comedy channel. But just put Sal Vulcano Terrified. And then my new tour is on sale right now as well. Just came out the same day. It's called Everything's Fine.
So you already have a new hour?
No, I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's how you do it,
That
the
tour
road.
starts in September, and then the end of the Joker's tour ends in August. So you can see me with the Jokers through August, and then September starts all new material. Not in the hour, and if you've ever seen before, not that either. SalVulcanoComedy.com. Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, putting those hours in. Well, congratulations on the special.
Thank you, guys.
So exciting. And this has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.